friends, and if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Betty, and this is the Well-Rounded Workshop. Today's project is a little special. I'm making a gift for my younger sister. I'm going to be building this out of some 2x6 boards I have laying around that I picked up from a construction site. For me, it's not about buying the perfect piece of wood. It's about turning the wood I have into the perfect piece for the project I want to build. My sister and her husband have always loved plants, but over the past year their collection has really grown and they're starting to run out of space. So I thought I'd surprise her with a custom plant stand on wheels, something that can easily move around to catch the best light in different rooms. I'll be dropping it off at the end of this video, and if we're lucky, we might even get a little tour of what I can only describe as her own mini rainforest. She definitely has the green thumb in the family. I've brought plants to her that were basically on life support and now they're thriving. And I've got a pretty solid track record of accidentally ending plant lives. So the plant stand that I'm going to make is going to have a base, and then it's going to have a 48-inch T-shaped spine with 5 or 6 shelves branching off. So first what I need to do is take my 2x6x10, cut them down to rough length and run them through the planer to thin them down to size. Now my sister has a very small apartment, so I want to make this kind of compact. It's not going to be real deep, but it will have a little bit of height to it. And she can move it around to kind of catch the light from room to room wherever she wants to put it. And always remember, safety first. I'm really lucky. My sisters and I have always been close, and somehow we've stayed that way as we've gotten older. It's like having built-in best friends. I'm the middle sister of 3, and we're kind of like the 3 amigos, although these days it might be closer to the Golden Girls. We're always doing something together, or at the very least, texting non-stop. We all share the same sense of humor and love of music. My sisters have beautiful voices. I love to sing too, but I bring the enthusiasm, not the talent. So I got all my pieces planed down to 1 1/8 inch. And now I'm going to work on the base plate. So my base plate is going to be 18 inches wide by 8 3/4 deep. So I'm going to use this board here. I'm going to end up ripping it to 4 3/8 and cutting 2 pieces at 18 inches. So then when I put them together, it's going to give me the 8 3/4 inch base that I need. So let's go over to the table saw and do that. My younger sister is the kind of person who would literally give you the shirt off her back if you needed it. She's thoughtful, always thinking of others and finding ways to make people feel special. She's strong in her faith, grounded in what she believes, and I've always admired how she stands her ground with reason and confidence. She's got a great sense of humor, a creative mind, and a real love for all creatures big and small. She's an incredible cook. Her cheesecake is next level, and somehow she keeps a home so clean you could eat off the floors. Unlike mine, where you'd probably choke on sawdust and dog hair. All right, I got my pieces all cut down for the base, and now I'm going to grab the Craig jig because I'm going to use that to get these put together. I got my Craig jig all screwed down to give it a little more stability, and I have it adjusted to accommodate the thickness of my board, 1 1/8. I'm just going to go ahead and mark some lines here where I want to put those holes. Got my lines all marked out, so I'm going to get my board set into place here. And I already adjusted the stop collar on my drill to accommodate the thickness of my board, the 1 1/8 inch. So remember, full speed ahead before you go into your wood. And quick little side note while I'm working here. I picked up this Milwaukee Mechanicals carpenter pencil, and I've got to say, I'm impressed. It's meant to compete with the ever-popular Pica pencil, and honestly, it holds its own. It's built like a tank and can be tossed around in your toolbox without a second thought. It comes with a clip-on sheath that has a built-in sharpener, so you're not digging around the shop trying to find the one that disappeared 3 projects ago. You can use it with the sheath on, or pull it off to get that long, narrow tip, which is really handy for tight spots like screw holes, corners, anywhere a regular pencil just refuses to go. The combo pack comes with a 10-pack of replacement leads, which is probably the smarter move, especially if you're anything like me and tend to lose things. You can also get refills in graphite, red, or yellow, depending on what you're working on. And the lead is a thicker 2.8 mil, nice and soft, writes really smooth, almost like a ballpoint pen, which is not something I'd ever thought I'd say about a carpenter's pencil. And the best part, it doesn't break every time you look at it the wrong way. And just to be clear, this is not a paid promotion. So Milwaukee, if you're listening, I'm available. In all seriousness though, if I come across a product I genuinely like and it actually does what it's supposed to do, I'm happy to share it. Because let's face it, there's enough stuff out there that doesn't live up to the hype. So when something works well, makes the job easier, and holds up the way it should, well, I think it's worth talking about. All right, so now that I have my holes all drilled out, I'm ready to get it glued and clamped so I can get it screwed together. So let's get this glued. I'll get it clamped together here. Probably don't need to clamp it, but it's always good to clamp it anyway. All right, I think we're good. Because my wood is over 1 inch thick, I'm going to go ahead and use the 1.5 inch Kreg pocket hole screw. The coarse thread, because I'm using a soft wood. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those. There we go. Need a few of those. Nice tight fit. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so the base is all glued and screwed together, came together nice. So I'm going to go over to the router and do a 3/8 round over all the way around on the base and on the spine. Okay, so I got the round over on my base, on my spine, and on the back, and now I'm going to give it a quick sand with the orbital sander. All right, so I'm all sanded up here. This is the backboard. I put a line right down the middle of the backboard, and I marked out some spots that I'm going to put a countersink in to screw the spine on. So I'm going to do that first. And I'll get my countersink. It's all glued into place, and now I'm going to just get it screwed using a number 8 screw, 2 inches. My T is all screwed and glued, and now I'm just going to figure out the center of my base, which is about 9. I'll make a line for that so I can get my T screwed onto this. So in order for me to figure out where I'm going to pre-drill up through the bottom to get into this spine, I'm going to make a couple marks here on the sides. And that way there I can drill down through the top and I'll see where I'm going to be able to pre-drill from the bottom. Things are coming along. I have the T screwed down to the base. Now I got to work on the shelves. So I'm going to need 5 shelves at 8 inches. So I'm going to start here. Get the first one marked out. And I'll get this over to the miter saw. I got one shelf cut down to 8 inches. I'm going to go over to the router and do a round over on the side and the front and see if I like it and go from there. So I rounded over the edge on that one shelf, and I think once it's sanded that it will look okay. Now I need 4 more of these suckers, so you know what that means. Engineering, can you give me 4 more of these shelves, 8 inches by 5.5, please, with a round over? Thank you. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's great. Okay. Wow, that's great. Okay, so now I have 5 shelves all cut down with the round over edge. Now all I need to do, get these sanded down, put some stain on them, and we'll get them assembled tomorrow and put the wheels on. Thanks, engineering. You're a lifesaver. So you just saw a quick clip of me attaching the shelves, and you know me, I finished it off camera because I'm just way too indecisive. I ended up painting the base and the backboard, and then I stained the shelves with the early American Minwax stain, and then gave it a quick gloss top coat. Now I just have to get these wheels on and we're ready for the final reveal. And don't forget to stick around after the reveal for a tour of my sister's plants and a clip of her Venus flytrap in action. So I've gone ahead and marked out where I'm going to put my wheels, and I've adjusted the clutch to 6 so I don't overdrive my screws. And I'm going to go with a number 6 by 3/4 panhead screw. Well, that's a wrap on the plant stand with wheels. It didn't turn out exactly the way I pictured it in my head, but I'd say it's pretty good considering I started out with rough 2x6 boards, where nothing is square and nothing is true. So Santa, if you're listening, a jointer would be nice and maybe a bandsaw, but I don't want to sound too greedy. I know my sister will love anything I give her, and I'm happy to give something back to someone who gives so much to others. I think it's going to come in handy for those more finicky plants that need to be moved around to catch the right light. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, and I do have a small ask for my loyal followers who've been checking in each week. If you have a Facebook, I'd really appreciate it if you shared your favorite project build video to your page. It would mean a lot and help to grow the channel. Until then, keep your garden watered, your stems standing tall, and don't let anything sneak into your beds that shouldn't be there. And remember, if it starts to sag, don't be afraid to step in and give it what it needs to stand tall again. Bye for now.